Today marks special counsel David Weiss's first full week on the job after Merrick Garland tapped him to lead the investigation into Hunter Biden. My next guest is on the committee investigating the Biden family finances. Is she worried the special counsel probe will hurt congressional probes? Congresswoman Nancy Mace joins me now. Congresswoman, it's great to see you. That is the question here that was raised by the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal this morning, that this could really kind of hurt your probe into Hunter Biden and Joe Biden.
And perhaps that's why special counsel, this was instigated. The same people that were trying to cover up and obfuscate, hide information from our committees, whether it was Ways and Means, Judiciary, or Oversight, are the same people that are going to be involved in the special counsel. You know, the American people don't trust Congress, but they should trust the evidence that's coming forward through the Oversight Committee and other investigative committees that we have going on, so the American people can make their own decision about whether or not the president is fit to serve in office, et cetera. I think it's very important that we're transparent, we show all the evidence, and that if we're going to continue to pursue this, that we're very transparent with the American people and show them everything that we have for and against this investigation.
All right. Well, but besides that, I want to move on to something else that's making news, and this includes you, and that obviously is Greg Steube, your colleague on the Hill, filing these articles of impeachment, against President Joe Biden. There's 4 articles. You've already been quoted as saying that you think it's too soon, that even Kevin McCarthy has said he wants to wait, kind of suss this out. Have you changed your mind at all in your opinion of what Greg Steube is doing?
Well, I think, there are investigative tools like an inquiry. An impeachment vote is too soon, as I've stated. That was about 2 weeks ago. We have to make sure that the evidence we put forward before any kind of vote like that is overwhelming, that it's undeniable, and that the American people see what we have seen. I have seen hundreds of suspicious activity reports and bank records to back up allegations of corruption, but we have to be able to show everything to the American people, including bank records and including reports of potential money laundering, those kinds of things, so that they can understand why we're doing this. And I don't think we're there just yet, but I do believe that we will be at some point later this year.
Well, and I think that's the question, too, is the proof. I mean, no one wants to see a smoking gun that isn't smoking, that isn't a gun.
Right.
But, I mean, how close are we to gaining that information? I mean, there are some news outlets that say that they indeed have more information about payments that were made to the Biden family, upwards of $20 million. James Comer has come out publicly and said that the proof is there, that they've seen the records, but the American people are ready to see the records. Are we close, Congresswoman?
I hope that we are. We're not allowed to share the suspicious activity reports, but I've seen suspicious activity reports that make me believe the amount of money that the Biden's family was paid off is north of $50 million. And it's not just Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, James Biden, his brother. There are grandchildren that receive money from communist China, for example. I mean, we've seen it, but we also, since we're not allowed to show those reports because they're confidential, we then now have to connect the dots and show bank records. We have to have testimony from eyewitnesses. So it's an amount, I believe the evidence will come forward, but it doesn't happen overnight. And I don't want this to be seen as tit for tat. I want us to be deliberative. I want us to be thoughtful. And I want us to show the American people the truth. Don't trust us, but trust the evidence that will, I believe, come forward. At the end of the day, that's the most we can ask for.
Well, certainly 50 million is a new figure that we're hearing from you right now. So thank you for that, Congresswoman. I think the other fear here, too, is that, if you go after impeachment inquiries, I mean, Nancy Pelosi was the queen of impeachments for President, at the time, Donald Trump, that those impeachments didn't go anywhere. She's really the one that's being, given credit for politicizing an impeachment proceeding in Congress. It seems to me like you're trying to kind of back off of that a little bit and as you say, take your time and be methodical and make sure that the proof is there before we go down this road.
Well, she absolutely politicized impeachment, and that's the last thing that we want to do. I don't want us to be seen as tit for tat. I take my job seriously. I represent a very independent district, and they don't want us to take sides without showing all the evidence and all the proof. And that's the least that the American people want, and that's what they deserve. And they can come to their own conclusions. If this leads to an impeachment or an impeachment inquiry, then that'll happen. But we don't want to rush the process, because we have to be seen better than Nancy Pelosi. We have to be seen as better better than the left, because I want the American people to know and trust what we are putting forward and not think that this is political. It shouldn't be political. It should be about the evidence.
And also, too, speaking of politics, a big day in Iowa on Saturday with all the candidates, including former President Trump on the ground, the Florida Governor, Ron DeSantis. I did want to ask you, it's expected this week that we may get a fourth indictment of the former president. His polls seem to go up, and his fundraising seems to go up every time he's indicted. Your reaction to what is another pending indictment from Georgia for President Trump?
No, he only gets stronger when he is indicted. And I've been traveling around the world as part of the House Armed Services Committee, visiting different military installations, doing that part of my job. So I've missed out on part of it. I missed the Iowa Fair this weekend, but I've read a few reports today. He does get stronger as he gets indicted, and that's why we're seeing him run away with the nomination at this juncture. We'll see if he debates the other candidates on stage here soon in August, and I hope that happens.
You think he's going to come to the stage?
I hope so, because I want to see the nominee, if it's Donald Trump or anybody else, I want them to be able to debate Joe Biden. I don't want anybody to give Joe Biden an out. He has a lot to answer for the American people. And if every single candidate debates on the stage, then Joe Biden will also have to debate our nominee. You can't deny that.
Right.
I want to make sure we don't give him the path to avoid a debate next year.
Congresswoman Nancy Mace. It's always great to talk to you, Congresswoman. Come back anytime.
Thank you.
All right. Good to see you.
Yes, ma'am.